Many things are a problem in today's society, and out of those problems, I've decided to discuss the issues of hypermasculinity. Hypermasculinity is a term for the overemphasis of male stereotypical behavior, um, and I've chosen this because during my freshman year, one of my male best friends was bisexual and didn't have a problem expressing that. Him being questioned every day and called homophobic names upsetted me and a bunch of other friends. But it had seemed that he didn't really worry about that because he was so-called used to it. But one day before school started, he was jumped by three guys from our school that he didn't really know, all because he was bisexual. So they assumed that based on his sexuality that he would tend to be weaker, so they underestimated him. Sadly, my best friend beat all three of them. Which brings me to what extent does reasoning affect the social standard of cisgender male stereotypes? Socially, following gender roles makes it easier to view people and to tell the difference of what gender they specify as. Like, as if you were to go to a store and the aisles are split between male and female, and most of the men things are blue or darker color, while the women's clothing are pink or lighter colors. Um, Gender roles are mostly focused on stereotypes, like men are supposed to know how to fix things, or they go out and hang out with their friends all the time, and I guess they're stronger, while females are supposed to be at home wives and aren't supposed to work or do anything.
Welcome, welcome. Here are your new company laptops. David, you can't wear that. It's a girl color. Oh, here. Pick that one or that one. Yeah. That's cute. See? Yeah. No. David can do that.
I've never done that before.
How's yours?
It's, manly.
No. I have something better.
Okay, so let's start looking over the presentation. If you guys wouldn't mind cleaning up when we're done, that'd be great.
Madeline, that's a little bossy.
If you guys could clean up after we're done, that would be great.
Good leadership, David.
Okay,
I think that'll be it.
that's all.
Boys will be boys.
My favorite color's blue.
I actually really like pink.
Gender roles makes it harder for people to express themselves in the way they would want to. To avoid being considered an outcast, the social norm of men being muscular and usually a working man makes the image that all men are supposed to be this way, and usually results in men that don't fit these standards to be less manly or more feminine. From religious reasoning, many believers consider homosexuality to be a sin, and it influences many other people that it's something very wrong. Historically, Europeans killed those who've shown signs of lesser masculinity who were accused of homosexuality for religious reasons for over 1,000 years. Most men believe that a heterosexual man is proved mostly to be masculine, but other men that isn't straight are feminine or flamboyant, which is stereotyping those of a different sexuality. Regarding sexuality, there are many of men that are heterosexual but shows less sexual interest in women than the original stereotype. The over-sexualization and materialistic view society has on women causes men to prove dominance over females and to make sexually suggestive or demeaning comments towards women and to impress their friends. This year, there's been a tape of Donald Trump from 2005 going viral with him saying grab women by their private areas, along with a couple of other degrading comments to impress Billy Bush. After the video was leaked, many people, mostly his supporters, have made excuses that is something men do or say to basically silence the voices of those who were offended of that statement.
Anyone who knows me knows these words don't reflect who I am.
It's a good question.
I've never said I'm a perfect person. I've said and done things I regret. I said it, I was wrong, and I apologize. I've said some foolish things.
Everyone's different and everyone feels different emotions. Like when you're sad, you cry, or when you're happy, you do things that make you feel better. And when you're angry, you're either violent or you're just upset. And certain emotions can bring you to certain situations, as if with anger can bring you to fighting, assault, killing, or anything related to that matter. When you're sad, that usually leads to depression or suicide or a bunch of other things. The guys that jumped my best friend felt that in order to deal with their hatred towards bisexuality, they decided to become physical about it to release their anger. This makes me wonder that to what extent does emotion influences the choices men make? In many cases, due to anger, um, a lot of times there are men that will catcall women and are usually rejected. But there are some men that have took rejection another way instead of just leaving it alone. There are men that have cursed out women, and there are also men that have murdered or raped other women just because she said no. It happens mostly a lot to women and trans women because they are not accepting the fact that they're being denied sex or they're being denied communication with one another.
Police say the victim, 29-year-old Janice Jackson Talton, was approached by the suspect just before closing at Cliff's Bar at North Lang and Upland Streets. Police believe they were acquainted, but she ignored his advances.
The suspect followed the victim outside, whereupon he pulled out a firearm and shot the victim in the chest.
Janice Jackson Talton died from a gunshot wound to the chest. Police were alerted to the shooting by the shot spotter. Officers found the victim and later saw a car speeding away.
In many cases of anger, it sometimes leads to fights, but sometimes the fight isn't really worth it. But for men, it seems that when they're angry, their only choice is to fight or argue. But if a guy showed any other emotion, it's called unmanly or feminine instead of just talking them out. But it's like they always have to be violent in order to get their point across. Like in history, like there was a lot of wars that have like been fought over serious things, or like territories or political freedom, but there are some wars that are just fought over arguments and petty little things that are actually proved to be irrelevant. Whether one of the ways men express their emotion without using violence to avoid their problems are by having empathy for others and to help solve other people's problems. They usually use perspective and it usually creates a bond between a man and another one, and it shows how each man have related troubles and how they can relate to a bunch of other different things. It releases the tension of rather just fighting or rather just like going off on people, but instead they just talk it out with one another and they're just like, hey, you're going through the same things I'm going through, and I understand that.